Yo, people, welcome back to the YouTube channel. You already know what time it is. It's time for another episode of All You Can Eat Chelsea. Big up your damn selves in the building. Lateness is greatness as always. Listen, we were just kind of talking in the background about how we're gonna bring this game to you, wonderful people. Because Younes, I'll start with you, brother. How are you doing? This game is not live in prime time. It's behind closed doors,
which I don't understand. How is it that the TV? Well, when we say TV, just all the TV companies have decided to go with Doncaster Everton and not Chelsea Wimbledon, or not both. I mean, it's actually quite incredible. So yeah, there's no broadcasted television from the bridge tonight. I know some people are like, oh no, but I'm sure it'll be shown in like, I don't know, Nigeria, or be shown in like Canada, or like no, there's no camera at the bridge. That's the problem. There's no TV. So we're gonna have to rely on some Lateness is greatness, and we're gonna have to rely on this guy right here.
Yeah.
to do a madness.
I feel like I'm under a lot of pressure, you know.
We were just saying that the Wi-Fi connection at the bridge is shocking.
It's bad.
It can be quite bad. So in order to try and pull this off, I was suggesting that Matisse go close to Westview, where it's a little bit more VIP, and maybe the Wi-Fi.
That's where I was going to go anyway. Yeah, that was where I was going to go anyway. Is try and go to Westview with the Wi-Fi. But Miz, I'm feeling the pressure, brother. Like there's thousands of people depending on me to live stream this because Chelsea just decided they can't be asked.
But I'm not sure about 1,000. I think millions are probably going to be dependent on you, bro. Your channel is going to pop off, and whatever little view we can get, that will absolutely do us. I just like Younes has said, I find this very odd and very strange, to a point, a little bit of disrespect. Like, this is not, we're not a Mickey Mouse club. Like, it don't matter who we play. You show us on TV. Like, we could play Bob the Builder. You show us playing Bob the Builder. Like, I don't get it, man. Quite strange. Hopefully we go through this particular round, unlike Spurs, and then we can get some footage back. Yeah, we can get some footage back in the next round.
Baba, brother, my plan was to minimum get it live, or maybe I'll just get highlights and put together a compilation of Chelsea versus Wimbledon highlights for the following day for everyone to see. But are you worried about Wimbledon? You won't be able to see it. Are you worried about what can happen?
No. If I'm not able to see it, I'm not worried. If I see the game, then I'm worried. So, for example, if I would have slept and woke up the next morning watching the score, okay, we won 3-0 against Luton. Not bad. It was a convincing performance, but it was not the case, definitely. So it's better that we are not watching the game. But jokes apart, I think this season when we are playing so less games, there's no Champions League. And each and every game is so important for us to see how this team develops, and to not being able to watch the game. And we are dependent on you today, bro. So don't let us down. Take all your gizmos, your additional
but the thing
equipment,
is,
whatever you have.
They'll only let you have so much. I think they'll only let you bring so much through security. Because if I
find a way,
show up with a tripod,
something. Get a drone or something. I don't care.
Carrying this massive tripod through the first turnstile, they're gonna be like, "What the hell is this guy planning?" I'll be up front. I was like, "Listen, I'm just bringing the game to the people. Obviously, you guys ain't bringing it to anyone. So what am I meant to do?
You can
I can't be selfish.
Like, I'm the guy that got the TV rights.
They want the TV rights for this game were £1, only £1. And I've won the bidding process, so here I am.
Make a little official sort of card in Word or something, or PowerPoint, print it out and carry it around your neck. Just go, look, here's the TV.
What's the thought process behind this move? Like, why you are not showing Chelsea on television? I don't get it, to be honest. And why it's not on Chelsea TV also? Like, what's the issue?
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't really make any sense, does it? Really,
it doesn't. I don't understand.
Because you were showing each and every preseason game, and you're not showing a competitive game.
And the more strange part is, I kind of thought, because a lot of the people have been talking about it on Twitter, right? Like, hey, does anyone know where's it going to be shown? This, that, the other. I thought, eventually enough, there's going to be a official statement from the admin saying, guys, don't worry, we'll show it on Chelsea TV or Fifth Stand app. I'm just like, I'm baffled that they're not even acknowledged the fact that it's not being shown. Like, that's quite mad.
Yeah, it's insane. But obviously going into the game, there's been a lot of talk, obviously, in the press conference about who could play potentially. We actually, funnily enough, don't have much of the depth that we had in preseason in terms of the young players, Santos, Angelo. That would have been great to see in a game like this. They're gone. So we're kind of, I was doing my lineup in my preview and I was kind of scratching around trying to put together an 11 that wasn't players that were key, because obviously we don't want them to get injured. But Miz, Angelo, and Santos, Brazilian brothers. I'm seeing Ndidi is signing for Nottingham Forest. They've got a lot of midfielders. Are we worried?
No, I'm not. I hope we don't play like a supremely weakened team. Like, I hope we take this somewhat seriously, that, you know, we could have the same fate as Spurs did yesterday, right? So,
that won't be happening. That won't be happening. I'm talking about the loanies. Are you worried about them? The guys. That
I thought you were talking about the match against Wimbledon.
We'll win. No, we're gonna win that. That's not even a conversation.
We're not talking about Wimbledon. Yeah. Okay, fine.
No.
Some Spurs fans reckon we might not, just because they got knocked out. So.
Yeah, we're gonna win that game.
Forget about Wimbledon then. Forget about Wimbledon.
Forget that.
The only Wimbledon we're gonna talk about is the tennis Wimbledon. Yeah, the loanies, man. Look, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't have let go of Andre Santos. Obviously, Angelo Gabriel was a long time back, and it was already been set that he was going to go anyway. So that one, even though it, like, you know, I didn't want it to happen, but I kind of knew that was going to happen. Andre Santos one was a bit of a surprise. It stopped being a surprise when I started seeing that he's not being utilized in game, and then, you know, later on we found out that he's not even in the squad against West Ham. So look, it would have been nice to keep this player with us and develop him ourselves. Now, you know, we'll see if he's going to get. I just don't want it to be a wasted. I don't know if you guys have been in touch with the loanees. Like, I've been keeping a real good tab on each and every one of them. Some of, like, for example, Angelo Gabriel, like, he's barely getting game time at Strasbourg.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah.
David Datra Fofana has been getting a lot of game time, but he got injured the last game, so hopefully he comes back. Apparently it was just a slight knock. Cassidy is the only one that is really showing mad progress, and he's slowly now breaking into the Leicester team. But I don't want Andre Santos to go to Nottingham Forest, who've got 36 players apparently in their roster. I hope he plays, bro. Like, I hope it's not a waste of a season for him, which is going to be sad.
They're kind of similar to us, where they bring in a lot of players. They brought in a lot of players last summer. They bring in a lot of players. I
don't know the strategy. I'm not really sure what their strategy is.
I think he's too good not to play, but at the same time, he's not their player, so they might just suddenly prioritize others ahead of him. If they have equal to quality in others, they'll say, listen, this is actually our player, we're going to actually play him. It makes more sense than playing one of your players that you just loaned out to us. So I hope it's not kind of like a panic loan where, you know, it's a Premier League loan, so it doesn't count to some of the international FIFA kind of restrictions, and we've just loaned them out to a Premier League club just to do it. Younes, are you? I mean, Angelo, it's early days, isn't it, at Strasbourg? I guess Levi Colwell didn't start for Brighton. Webster and Dunk started there. He came into the team midway through the season. I think Webster was injured and then he came in. So still early days maybe to be worried about him.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if it gets to, you know, after a few games in the season, he's still not starting, when he's not seeing much minutes, at that point, start getting worried. But at the beginning, we have to remember that it's still a player that's looking to be integrated into a new team, a new setup, and for him to just pop off and score, you know, pop off and play, like, you know, every single game. Probably unrealistic for someone as young as him. But yeah, the loan is the loan, and it's there for a reason. And I hope Strasbourg have the trust in Gabriel, much like we do in terms of the ability he has. And as long as they use him, then great. If he comes on and starts making differences, and then with time, eventually he starts getting to the starting 11 and then we see him play, then great. But like I said, after maybe I'd say after the first 8, 9, 10 league games, if he's not got a starting role at that point, then at that point I'm like, what was the point of the loan? Like, it's a loan.
Yeah.
Ultimately Strasbourg have their ideology in terms of what they need and why they got the loan. Was it a squad filler? Was it someone that was it just part of Chelsea's plan to get some minutes elsewhere? Do they actually want him to start? Like, that we honestly don't really know. So as long as he gets minutes and we see him play often, I'm happy with that, if I'm honest.
100%. I don't know, this person keeps spamming this in the chat. There's saying that his statement on Strasbourg. What's that all about?
Oh, mate. Oh, my God.
Yeah,
No,
get rid of it.
It's actually, I'll address it. So I put on Twitter after the protest.
Did
you see
the protest on Sunday? Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, they were pissed.
Why were they? I didn't understand that. Why are they protesting against?
They've been protesting since the beginning. They're not happy that basically they're not happy that they're part of
Blue Co.
This Blues Co kind of.
Why?
Because they are being treated as the second fiddle to Chelsea. So that,
but they are.
That is what they're.
But they are. I don't get these clubs like Brighton and Strasbourg.
No, Fizz, you can't do this.
Here we go.
Like effing hell, man! You guys are second fiddle. Like, fuck's sake, man! Oh my god!
No, listen.
Like,
I basically I put a tweet out and I woke up the next morning and it had like almost 300,000 flipping views on it and whatnot. Everyone going flipping crazy, Chelsea fans included, going, "Oh no, this is too arrogant. How can we think like this?" Me saying, basically, Strasbourg, what are you complaining about? Like, okay, cool. I can understand in terms of just being doubtful about a takeover, much like we were doubtful about our takeover. I completely get it. However, it's not the same context for two reasons. One reason, we didn't know what to expect when these guys came in. We don't know them. After being now in the second season, it's an example of what their track record at Chelsea. Strasbourg know what to expect, much more than what we anticipated when they came in, because we didn't know a thing about them. They have at least something on the table to look at and go what they're about. Secondly, Strasbourg, with all due respect, do need to understand their level. Right now, where they are in Ligue 1 is their best league position since 1980. And they're fifth.
I can't believe we're having to explain this.
We're having to explain.
What a waste.
It would be the
waste of our time. What a waste.
It would be the equivalent. It would be the equivalent is if, for example, Inter Milan are taken over by Blue Co, right? Blue Co then come in for Crystal Palace, and then Crystal Palace fans protest that. They won't. They're going to be like, flipping out. This is a great opportunity for us to maybe get injection, some resources, Champions League football. So I put on that tweet, Strasbourg, when you're playing Champions League football, just remember this, yeah. And everyone got caught in a flipping madness. And I'm not bothered, to be honest.
Do you know what?
People with time will understand it.
They probably should have got relegated last season. That would have been best. That really would have been best.
So they've spent close to half of the time since, if I'm not mistaken, the mid-90s. They've spent almost close to half of the time in the second and the third division than they have in Liga. Like, understand exactly what's coming to your club here. I mean, I'm not saying don't protest. That's their right. They have every right to protest and say what they want. But I'm just countering it, saying the logic here isn't logicking, as far as I'm concerned, and it will come good for them.
Well, what do you think on this, Baba? Because the chat brought it to my attention. I need to go and see what this chat, see all these impressions. I don't even know what's going on. Let me see. Go on, Baba. Let us know what you're thinking on this one.
I don't care about it, to be honest. I am somewhat with Younes on this one, because completely with Younes on this one. Because see, if your club gets benefited in any way possible, how does it matter if you're a feeder club to a bigger club? If you're in a better league position, if you're getting the investments in your club, if you're able to get players who are Premier League caliber in your players because of Chelsea, you have to you get to keep them for a season or two. So how does that make your club lose out on any of your identity? On the contrary, it makes your club better. So I don't know what the fuss is all about. If it means being the feeder club to Chelsea, so be it. But it is benefiting your club in the end. If you want to get relegated and you want to get promoted on your own and you want to attract players on your own, then that's a separate issue. But I don't see how that works.
Exactly. Sorry, even then, I do want to say, sorry, Matisse.
Mm.
It's not a case of we're just going to nick all of Strasbourg's best players. This isn't the plan. Like, we're not just going to be relying on Strasbourg. What are you producing?
Yeah,
All right, we're going to snap that guy off.
But
Now.
who are their best
all
players,
our
bro?
business is coming
Who are
from
their best
Strasbourg.
players?
we
bro?
are giving them their best players.
We're going to be helping them.
But
exactly,
name
not
me
just
one
us, but the Blue
Strasbourg player.
Co. The Blue Co group will be helping Strasbourg as well as Chelsea, and it's in Blue Co's interest to make sure Strasbourg are brought up to a level as much as Chelsea are brought up to a level. Now, yes, we may have things like loans and whatnot, but when we're talking about getting players into Chelsea Football Club, we're not just going to be shopping and flipping Strasbourg. We're not. We'll leave them to do our business. We do have other players that we're going to be looking at and trying to make Chelsea better, not just turning to Strasbourg. So this whole thing about they're just going to be a feeder, I think is wrong. They're not just going to be a feeder.
Do you think that maybe their point might be that they get more satisfaction out of doing it on their own? Say you're to have your YouTube channels, right? And somebody was to come and invest and say, right, I'm going to invest in your YouTube channels massively, but we're going to do it as a joint channel. It's going to be me and you as a group instead of, right, you as a solo kind of YouTuber. Do you feel like if you get to 100K, and then I'm just giving the kind of other side of the coin, right? Just for balance. If you was to feel that you was to get to 100K, which is deemed a success, or 200 or 300, wherever you are in your respective channels, with a group, do you feel like you're going to get the same satisfaction if you used to do it on your own? And is that probably not their point, that they don't want to be part of a group, even though we are investing, even though we are giving them money, even though we are propelling them up there quicker? That their football club, they want to act as a single entity where they live and die by their own decisions, and they're more, kind of following their own kind of course, not something that we're kind of propelling them to.
That is a great perspective, Matisse. But that's not what the owner set out to do. Their owner put themselves in the market to bring in investors. If Strasbourg owners, correct me if I'm wrong, because this is from when I think it was when the articles were flying around. Strasbourg owners were financially in a bit of a mess, and they were looking for investors to come in. They opened their gates up. Bowley was shopping around in the French Ligue 1 or even in Division 2 as well, and they saw a good opportunity with Strasbourg, and they've gone in. We didn't force ourselves in on Strasbourg. We didn't they didn't have their door shut and we got a sledgehammer and broke it down and just looted them. No, we didn't do that. They had the door open. They invited us. They sat down with us. They agreed upon the deal. So these fans should have protested a long time back when their owners were looking to sell because of financial reasons. Don't come and protest now that the transaction's done and your previous owners agreed upon the sale.
But do you know what this is really similar to? When Chelsea were about to get bought potentially by the Ricketts, right? No one was ready to protest. No one was ready to protest. The people would have protested once they were in-house. And that's just human nature, it seems, where obviously me and Younes, a few other Chelsea fans were out there, and the ones that couldn't make it obviously overseas would have been there as well. But in terms of actually in the local area, the people that the turnout for who could have been there and who did was disappointing, because everybody wants to complain about ownership until when it's too late, when the ownership are already locked in, put their money down, and they're not going anywhere. And you see the Cronkies and you see the Glazers, etc., etc. Nobody wants to stop that before it actually happens, because it's not worth it at that point. You could go for a pint, or you could stop the potential ownership change that hasn't happened yet. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. So that I'm not surprised that's the case, because
the context is different here, Matisse. But the context is different here. What I feel is, like in case of Chelsea, Chelsea was already a very successful club. Chelsea needed an owner who could take the torch forward. What Abramovich had done. So we were afraid that would Ricketts do that. So that's why we were in a mess we were in a pickle over that situation. And at Strasbourg, they don't have a history of being a successful club. It's like whoever would have taken over from their current owners would have done a better job, because they would have brought in the investments. Last season, they had finished 15th in the league. So this season, with the players that they have got, and with the Blue Co being the owner of everything, they will finish in the top half, I'm assuming. And that's the plan.
I go one step even behind that one, Baba, where us Chelsea fans were open for a new ownership because we were forced to be open for a new ownership.
Yeah.
Who the new ownership was down, that is a separate issue. What Strasbourg need to understand here is that you were open for a new ownership. Now, don't complain that the new ownership has come in and now you want to protest against the new owners. You've not even seen the new owners yet. Like, you've not experienced anything. Like, we've experienced the whole season. And maybe some of us could have protested off the back of last season saying, well, what's the new owners doing? You've not even seen Todd Bowley and the Blues operate as yet. If anything, what you've seen so far is you've bought a lot of players. In fact, a lot more. I'm pretty certain in this summer window, they probably bought in a lot more players than we have. Correct me if I'm wrong. Excluding the
I'm not sure.
kids that we bought. They brought in a couple of like strikers, some centre mids, and obviously our, Angela Gabriel.
They got Vieira as their manager.
They got Vieira as a manager. You never would have got Vieira in your lifetime as a manager.
Let me. Well, some people are saying that if it was a German club, there's just absolutely no way this would go down, which is probably true because
the structure is different. No, they're fan-owned clubs. The 51-49.
Yeah.
Model, exactly.
Yeah, the model is different.
Yeah. But there's also
Julian
one thing
Laurent...
to take into context. Yeah.
Yeah, go on. Go for it.
There's also one thing to take into context is this is why I said, look, with time, when Strasbourg end up playing Champions League football, they'll understand. I think that because the French league as a whole is in a situation where we know it's just PSG. Everyone else has a shot at being able to make the Champions League spot. Everyone else has a good chance of doing it as long as they can just get a good structure. And I believe now, using Chelsea's expertise, it's not a case of them just being a feeder club. They're not going to be a feeder club. If anything, they're helping us out by getting players that we don't accommodate for in the squad. And as well as that, we ain't just going to be nicking players from Strasbourg. We're going to be doing our business elsewhere. Blue Co do want to build a portfolio. And that doesn't mean just focusing on one of your assets. It means focusing on all of them. And Strasbourg are one of them. So welcome to the family, basically. This is going to help you. And ultimately, what I do want to say with the French... not the French culture, but it's very, very common over there to protest at anything, right? PSG fans are winning every single little thing, right? And they're protesting, right? I would say it's a common occurrence. I think give it time, and they will begin to understand what the process is, and it's not as crazy as some people are anticipating it to be.
Yeah, I think the other thing I will say is that the reason why I sympathize with them as well is because one thing I don't like in football, and I know it's benefiting financially for potentially us and Manchester City, I don't like stockpiling young players. I think it dehumanizes them a little bit and it makes them become... I mean, football's already gone in that way where everybody's an asset and no one's really thinking about the person and we're just stockpiling. I've said it before in here, but we're stockpiling all these 20-year-olds in the same position and then we're just selling some for profit. We keep some. It's a little bit... I don't know. I don't want to say it's unethical because it's not. Obviously, it's a business, but I don't like the vibe. And then even owning multiple clubs as well. Yes, I get it from a business standpoint, but it takes away a little bit of the individual aspect of each club, in my opinion. Whereas if you just had one owner for each club, that you had to 100% put all of your resources into that club, make sure you stay true to its traditions whilst trying to improve it. Say Manchester City and Chelsea end up owning like 5 or 6 clubs across Europe. Then those clubs, they become a little bit more watered down. I don't know if anyone agrees, but that's just potentially a way of people seeing it. But let me see what Julian Laurent had to say, because listen, he's an expert on French football, and I don't know. I'm quite intrigued because they are now part of the family, like you said, Younes. And I don't like to see family members angry, man. It's actually starting to... and we've got young players going out on loan there. We don't want the atmosphere to be hostile. So I actually do want to see before we move on what their perspective is on Julian Laurent's.
Was at Strasbourg's win over Toulouse on Sunday, and the home fans greeting him with a banner saying "Non à la multipropriété."
Yeah, they're not happy in Strasbourg.
Do you share, and do people in France generally share the Strasbourg fans' unhappiness at a big part of Chelsea?
Yeah, there's a bit of that. It's just... It almost feels so. City did it with Troyes. Troyes is a small club. They went straight back down. They have fans. They're good fans, but Strasbourg, a huge club, historical club, and almost too big to be owned by another club. If you see what I mean. I don't know if I explained it well, but I think you can do it with any club. But Strasbourg are are really big, and I think the fans feel it's a bit insulting in a way to be owned and have told Brady, who knows nothing about Strasbourg, French football. The players that he was watching had no idea. I mean, he doesn't even know anything about his own Chelsea players, let alone the Strasbourg ones. So they just, I don't think they're too happy to be used by Chelsea in the way they are. Saying like, listen, we signed Juan Castellino from Santos. Here you go. We don't know if he's any good, but you have him because we impose him to you basically, and that's not going down well. But it's the best I've seen in 24 years. So in a way, the money that Chelsea made available to buy Silla in Belgium, for example, at 20 million, they would not have been able to do it without that money.
Right. But if they didn't have Chelsea, then they might have another owner who would make that money available without
Not that much, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So we see. I mean, again, time will tell. If they have a good season, I think they will be happier. If it's a terrible season and Bodie and gets too involved, then they're going to hate it.
It's an interesting one. We have to see how it develops, but I find it quite fascinating because it is kind of like modern football and business and multi-club model and, you know, loopholes and strategy and stockpiling versus kind of like traditional, you know, football community kind of owner. Everybody's kind of like rooted to the community and the club and it's two polar opposites. And I don't know if they would be happier with having an owner that they, you know, not as rich, not as given as many funds, but just someone that is absolutely dedicated and loves the club. You know, you get those owners, especially lower down the leagues, that absolutely love the club they're at. I think Steve Parish is maybe a good example at Palace, where you could maybe get a richer guy in there, but that guy knows that club and knows that club and the fabrics of it throughout. And it's even an interesting question with Chelsea. Would you if you could get a Chelsea owner that wasn't as rich but absolutely loved the club, knows the club inside out, or would you prefer to have kind of the resources that we have? I'm not gonna lie, I'm picking the resources. I'm not gonna lie.
Ultimately, Matisse, it's down to resource.
Yeah.
Love ain't gonna buy me players. I love you lot. Give me Jude Bellingham now. Jude Bellingham don't care about love. Show me the money. Do you know what I mean? So, look, I understand. I get what you're saying, Matisse. But this is a new era. This is a new age. You know, all of that sentimental stuff, man, that just doesn't run. It's a business now, man.
Exactly. You either step up or you step aside. That's it. It's as simple as that. But the truth, even about the love thing, you can't understand. You can't, know that 1 point alone after a couple of months.
Amount of time. Yeah.
It's a process. It's after long periods of time. So this is what I'm saying. Like with time, guaranteed. With time, like we did with Roman. When Roman came in, did anyone think, oh, Roman loves Chelsea? All of us were like, all right, we'll see how this goes.
Exactly.
With years, it took years for us to be like, oh no, you know what? This guy loves Chelsea to bits. It took years.
Absolutely.
So
Roman wanted to buy Younes
No,
Fulham? At the
He
beginning?
was considering Tottenham.
Tottenham. He's going to buy Tottenham.
So,
and thank God that didn't happen. Jesus.
It stumbled upon Chelsea.
If that happened, wow.
Love comes with time.
We would
Love
be in
isn't
some serious crap.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's move on. So we got Wimbledon tonight. Everybody's expecting the
What a
comfortable win, right?
sidetrack that was, bro. Wow.
It's quite an important issue because it's come up a couple of times, not just from Younes.
I had no idea what was going on, to be honest.
People, it seems like people have been protesting over there for quite a few weeks. And if Angelo's over there, I care about Angelo's safety. If that brother gets banged up because of some protest, I'm not going to be very happy. Do you know what I'm saying?
Just another point on that, how Julian Laurent was saying that, they're not happy that Chelsea are just dumping players on them. Let's get one thing right. We've spent time scouting these kids.
Exactly.
Like, this isn't just let's close my eyes. Yep, just pick that player. Okay, throw it to Strasbourg. No, we've actually spent time. All right. Yeah. These players have impressed us in the preseason. Like, we wanted to keep them, but we're giving it to you. Like Angelo Gabriel, we can all agree here. It would have been all right if Chelsea had him, right? Would agree.
No, listen, bro, with some of the targets that we're looking at right now, Sancho, Smith-Rowe, I would have preferred to keep Angelo and because he was looking like he had the kind of awareness to be able to assess what's around him and play a pass as he did for Chilwell in pre-season. Yes. All of these targets that we've been going after, I'm not saying we're even going after them. All these targets that we've been linked with They feel very agent driven. It's every single player that's unhappy with their current situation because they've either been benched or they can't get back into the team. They're on high wages. They're coming off bad form for a couple of years now, very similar to Havertz, and even Mount last year, poor form, Man United take him, trying to revive the player. And then also taking a look at injury-ridden kind of Smith-Rowe at the moment, who's not really played to his level since he probably scored at Stamford Bridge. I'm not interested in any of these guys. I'm not even contemplating any of these guys. I would much happier get nobody in than get some of these names that I've seen. And I don't know what Younes is smiling about, but if there is some breaking news,
if got a new name on the list, mate.
Oh my days. Oh my days.
Who wants Cole Palmer?
Nah, he's way too raw, bro. He's way too. He's a good player. I'm not gonna lie. He's a good player. I like him.
He is a good player.
Let me read this.
But wasn't Pochettino looking for experience?
So he's the mystery player.
This is true.
Exclusive.
I hope he's not the mystery player.
1 minute ago, Chelsea add Cole Palmer to the list of talented offensive players being considered for final edition. Chelsea are set to open talks soon as they see Cole Palmer as the best solution. It remains to be seen City's position. Cole Palmer. Do you know what? Do you know what I'm gonna say? This is better than the other options, though. This is the best option I've seen so far.
But we have to understand if we are getting lit with any player does not mean we are getting that player necessarily.
I know.
Why would Cole Palmer would want to leave City if he is
offered a fair? Apparently, he is interested in leaving. Yeah,
he's
Chelsea really want him.
But if he is offered a fair chance to compete against Doku and Foden and all these players,
but apparently he wants minutes, right? And apparently, when everyone's fit, he isn't really likely to get those minutes.
Once Nkunku is also fit, I don't think so. He'll get minutes over here. Also.
I've seen him play on the left wing,
on the right hand side, or the left, exactly. Yeah.
And
what happens to Madueke then? He goes third in the pecking order.
Look, I'm not even worried about. I'm not even going to talk about Cole Palmer as a good player. I've seen, obviously this season, last season as well. He's a good player. I've got no issues about that. What I've got issue is he's another kid though. Like, he's not polished yet. Like he's not. No. I mean, Pochettino. What are you going for? You going for experience, or you going for another kid? Because if it's another kid, you got 21. Kids. You've got kids. 21 is still young, man. 21 is still young. Like, are we saying like 17 or something? That's the new young, and 21 is the experience. 21's a baby, man. Like, you're still a kid.
We're seeing this board and this manager in terms of like they're pretty much on the same wavelength in terms of okay, I like Maatsen more. Cool. Okay, we'll move Cucurella to Man United, or we'll try. But in terms of if he wants experience, we have yet to sign since the recruitment team came in January anyone over the age of 25. I think that's Decisive was 25, isn't he? So we're not signing anyone in the latter part of their 20s or in their early 30s. We're just not going anywhere near it. I'd actually be, even the goalkeeper, even with the goalkeeper, you think, okay, second choice goalkeeper, maybe you could get a Keylor Navas. They still get a young goalkeeper from the MLS who apparently is very talented. I've never watched him. Very interested to see how he does. He's just been given his new number today of 28. Every single player we brought in has been under the age of 25. I think that's factual. So if he wants experience, Sancho is 23 or 4. I think he's not 20. Maybe let me see.
23.
23. There you go.
So
Fatty, young teenager, isn't he? Who else have we been? Smith-Rowe, young, 20. Fatty's 20. Smith-Rowe is what, 22, 23? All of these guys are young, bro. So it looks like whether Pochettino liked it or not, or we like it or not, we will not sign a single brother over the age of 25. So that's just the way we're going.
Apparently, and I've just tried to dig a little bit of reaction. Man City fans are not very happy.
Sanchez.
It seems like
no, they're not. They're not. He's a good player.
And he's a good player.
It's a case of depth for them. Apparently, like something happens to, like, let's say Doku, or there's no depth. So Cole Palmer is the guy that they turn to. If we take him from City, there could be a method to the madness. Imagine taking City's depth away.
I'm absolutely okay to bring him. Question is how much.
Yeah,
we don't need to get flawed
Swindled
with this player.
No.
I'm thinking somewhere around 35 mil, max 40.
Max,
That's
yeah.
about it. Like if I start seeing 50, 60, what are
Bye-bye.
you doing? Like what are you
Bye-bye.
doing? What are you
Yeah.
actually doing? Do you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of development still to happen for Cole Palmer, and we've let go of players like Andre Santos, for instance, because we can't be bothered growing them. Do you know what I mean? We've sent them to Nottingham Forest. So we have to commit. If we're going to get someone like Cole Palmer, we have to commit that, all right, he's going to be the one. But then, as Baba said, Madueke, we've not seen enough of him. All of these players, Poch, and I know Poch has done wonders with kids. We're talking about a school of kids now.
A whole classroom.
A whole classroom. So, yeah, let's see, man. Let's see. All of these young kids, they all have aspirations. Why do you think Cole Palmer is leaving, boys? Why do you think he wants to leave City? Because he probably thinks his career path is not certain at City. So then he's going to come to Chelsea. He's going to have to feel that his career path is certain. Much like Levi Colwell. Levi Colwell didn't want to commit to us until he saw his career path was a certainty. And by certainty, I don't necessarily mean that knockout competition. No. But too much competition is in your same age group is a bit too much. I think, Matisse, you've said that. You've said that previously.
It's unhealthy because you're leaving everybody on the same timeline. And I've always said if you can have different timelines, Aspilicueta, Reece James, Giroud, Tammy Abraham, it gives them something to aim for, to say, okay, I'm actually happy to be an understudy and to learn from the more experienced player who's gone through the highs and the lows of football, gone through the different. Because experience is important if it's the right experience. If it's experience from a player that's not good and hasn't done anything in their career, we don't need that. We don't need Ross Barkley experience. But if it's somebody who's won something, won everything, or has competed at the highest level, been to World Cups, done this, done that, like a Thiago Silva, that experience is invaluable. And I feel like the timeline is very important, not to have so many players on 8-9 year contract. I don't mind having key top players like Caicedo, Enzo on 8-9 years, because I don't believe they're going to flop. But if you start putting these kind of B, C category young players who could be something, could not be, and they're all on 8-9 years, at some point you're going to have a whole squad of everybody on 8-9 years. There will be no one running out of contract. So there is no real room to have any sort of turnover of players unless you sell, which is difficult to do if they don't play well, right? And we have to actually develop them. There's no guarantees. My thing is that from a squad standpoint, what have we got? We've got Sterling, Madueke, Mudryk, and then it would be Cole Palmer. That's your four wingers. Maatsen becomes a left back.
Cole Palmer can play attacking mid as well.
Can he play center attacking mid?
Yeah,
I've never watched him there. Can he play there? Is he good there?
Look,
do you think?
He drifts, doesn't he? He drifts. I've seen him attack through central areas, then drift out wide, whether it's right, whether it's left. So I'm pretty certain he's capable of doing that. But
it's actually his main position.
One thing we do need to realize, Cole Palmer is coming from a school of thought of Pep Guardiola, where things are very mechanical. Things are very mechanical.
Positional play.
Positional play. Things, a lot of these players, if they were to move in different teams, there will be once again a time of adaptation. So, I know Sterling is buzzing right now, but Sterling, he's different. He's a carefree kind of like, just let me loose. Do you know what I mean? Let me just dribble at them. And maybe at times Pep probably didn't want that at the latter part of his Man City career. He wants a little bit more method, like to the madness. Do you know what I mean? Like Grealish. We've seen the Grealish at Aston Villa. Loves to guard the players. Grealish at Man City is a different responsibility given to him, and he's got to stick by that. So now Cole Palmer comes here. He's going to have to adapt to what Pochettino wants out of him. So I hope he can just translate his skill set to our needs.
Yeah. As the comments are saying as well, because Secret Scouts put a picture out, and I think it's evident. It is Joe Shields.
Again.
That's pushing this. Yeah, it's Joe Shields. Fully.
Why didn't he get the Foden guy?
Do you
That
want to
would've
pay
been a good
120
one.
Like,
million,
no
or-
disrespect, but every time I
That
see
would've
that
been-
photo, I said, when's Phil Foden coming, bro? Because he's the perfect 10. If we could have Phil Foden,
Oh,
that would
that's
be
a
that would
dream.
be perfect.
That's a
Like,
dream. That's a
you
dream.
can't do that one, no? You can't get that one done.
That's a
Played
good
lot-
one, Matisse.
Played a lot more football. Looks like he's a good player. We can't get that one done.
Joe Shields, give me the real one. Not this other.
Man.
Give me
Joe
the real
Shields is
deal.
moving. You know, Joe Shields is actually moving mad. He is
He is.
getting everything that he wants. What you need to do is go to Joe Shields, see who he follows on Instagram, and that's who we're getting. Because this guy, it's like he's almost risen up the ranks. Like he must be alongside Lawrence Stewart and Paul Winstanley at this point, because he's getting everyone that he wants. We're looking at, we're going after. It's mad. But his
He
like,
is
maybe his
head of
negotiations.
recruitment, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's meant to be just below.
Just below.
Yeah, he's meant to be just below like Winstanley and
They're directors.
Stewart. Yeah, they're the shot callers. But his negotiation skills and his personal relations with Lavia
The recruitment
maybe has been more impressive than anything.
Bro, he wants to probably eat one of those brothers' job. You never know, bro. He's looking to
I
go
think
up.
he's coming. I think he's coming for their jobs, bro. I can't lie. They need to be careful.
But he's probably got at his home in his wall somewhere picture of Paul Winstanley and Lawrence Stewart, and he's thinking, which brother's job am I gonna eat?
He throws darts at
Someone's
them
job.
every night.
Yeah.
He's like, someone's job's gonna be eaten by me.
Mm.
I will eat it. One of you guys are gonna be jobless very soon. So yeah, man, look out for this guy, bro. He's a monster.
I don't think Man City will sell him to us, though. To be quite honest, I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked if they sanction that. But that's wild. Absolutely wild.
Pep
Wow.
did say that he's not going to go on loan. I remember Pep's talking about this during what's that match, man? That first game of the season, Charity Shield or Community
Arsenal,
Shield,
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, straight after that, I think because obviously he scored that really good goal, and they were asking him, is he going to stay or is he going to go on loan? And he said, no more loans. Either he stays or he gets sold. So. Like he's good enough now. So,
and it's one of those players that doesn't direct, because we was always saying with the Raphinha link, I didn't get it because he can only play right wing. He's not versatile. He can't play 10. He can't play left wing. So he's directly taking Madueke's spot, and Sterling, like I said, I just don't want to move because he's playing so well out there. So he doesn't really make as much sense to me. But this is a player that doesn't have to play 10, doesn't have to play left, doesn't have to play right. Like Pochettino says, kind of plays all across the front, which maybe makes it a little bit more believable.
Plus, from the operational point of view, I think it's too late in the window. Man City would not want to be in this situation. If
Already trying to
Chelsea
bring
Chelsea if massively overpay, if they are able to get 60-70 million out of Chelsea for Cole Palmer, then that's a separate issue. But I don't think so. They would want to put themselves in a position where they are looking for depth on the last day of the window. So I think it's too late.
Who's City got now? They got Grealish, they got Doku, they got
Bernardo Silva,
Foden, who can play out
Foden,
wide. They got
Silva.
Bernardo Silva.
And
They
Palmer.
are bringing in, and Palmer. They are bringing in few midfielders as well, right? Like Matisse, Younes. I know they're not going to be in that wing spot, but some of their wings are also occupied by left backs. Like Nathan Ake occupies that. On the right side, you've got Kyle Walker occupying those areas. Yeah, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. And if need be for them, if they're in real trouble, they'll go in January market and sort that out. But I think Cole Palmer is potentially a surplus to requirements. I can see this happening. I really can see this happening. Someone saying Alvarez as well. Yeah, so
It's an interesting one.
It's an interesting one.
There's a lot. It's stockpiling, isn't it? Angelo, similar.
It
type
is
player.
stockpiling.
Yeah, it's stockpiling, and it's like
Yeah.
not everyone will make it. It's a fight to the death, really. And the only thing I hope is that for our sake, this is being completely cynical and just thinking about our financial situation.
And what's his injury record? Cole Palmer.
Cole Palmer?
How is
I
he?
think it's all right. I don't think he
he's
gets
fine. I
injured.
haven't seen.
I mean, he's young, so
Look.
I mean, he
he
shouldn't
should-
have played so much to get injured also, right?
yeah, he doesn't get that. I don't think he played that often last season either. He plays here and there.
I hope that these guys have good loans when they have gone, because if they don't, it'd be difficult to make a profit on players.
See, again,
that aren't
all
playing
of
or
these
aren't playing
names
well.
are good, but not really getting me
Needle
excited,
movers.
you know.
Yeah,
Well,
as
one
Matisse
thing
would
that
say,
is
he's on
getting-
needle movers.
The one player that is getting people excited is Musiala. I don't know where this name's come from.
Bro,
Please.
what is this,
No,
bro?
no.
What is this? People
It's
just
all-
throwing
it's all over
names
the
around
chat.
now.
It's all over the chat. I don't know
Mbappe.
where this has come from.
It's like what you did a couple of months ago with the Shermany thing, and then everyone's like, "Yeah, Shermany to Chelsea." Like, I'm like, I think Matisse once said that in his video, and everyone's taking that as the real deal. Like, can any of us just start a rumor these days? Can I just go?
Mo Salah's coming to Chelsea, lads.
Can, like Younes, you nearly got about what 170 or whatever. Could you just start a rumor like
Yeah,
this
could.
guy coming to Chelsea?
Straightforward. Who do we want?
But just pick one. Pick a guy.
Saka
Pick a
to
guy.
Chelsea is happening, guys.
Osimhen.
First, start the
Osimhen's
Saka
back
one. That's a
on.
good one.
Saka.
Nah, start the Saka one. That's a good one.
Saka's a good one. I might
That'll
do that.
rattle Arsenal fans.
So I do like a deadline day prank.
Bro,
Where's
honestly,
this coming from?
do a mad thumbnail, hectic headline. Do you know what I mean? Title.
Exclusive.
Just go. I've spoken to
Younes
someone.
do a 6-hour deadline day stream, live stream,
Bro.
6
Of-
hours.
and
deadline
just
day.
for 6 hours, Saka wants to
Yeah.
move to Chelsea.
Yeah.
And Chelsea has
Just-
contacted Saka's representatives.
I've
Yes, and
spoken
then-
to Saka's best friend. He
And his
said he wants to
postman.
move.
Yeah.
You won't find this anywhere else. This news is with me exclusively. And when the window closes,
Sources.
you do a Gerard Romero when the window closes. I'm sorry.
I'll be like, calma.
No, this whole Musiala thing, man. And then I saw secret scout saying that, oh no, Musiala would be interested to come to Chelsea.
Which is mad.
Brother, stop. Just stop,
No,
brother.
he did. To be fair, he did clarify after. He was like, the chances of this happening, by the way, are very low.
Then why
So-
why say it?
But how does he know that he would consider Chelsea?
People getting paid on Twitter now, man. People will just post whatever they want to post.
That's what it is. That's
Elon has
what it
changed the
is.
game.
Yeah, he has changed the game. He has.
Wow.
But yeah, Baba, as you were saying, how would he know? I think he knows like whether
His
it's
milkman.
Musiala's agents or the secret scout. I have to say, after the Fabulous and the Oni, like I think secret
he's-
scouts out there.
Shaloba Musiala swap.
Apparently they won Gallagher as well.
Chalova plus 20 million for Musiala. Do it right.
I think Gallagher's a better player than Musiala, though. I'd rather keep Gallagher.
People have been saying that. They're saying Chalobah, Gallagher, throw them in a deal. I don't know what's going on with Tuchel. Tommy Tuchel's talent ID. I've seen McTominay links.
It's looking worse, isn't
It's
it?
disgusting. It's actually disgusting. I love him, but it's been horrendous. What I've been reading has been very worrying.
Mate, if his talent ID was through the roof, he'd be winning trebles for fun.
Yeah.
Considering what he'd done with us and the talent ID, now we understand was probably a little bit.
Boys,
No.
let's calm down. He did get Harry Kane. So
Yeah.
Bayern got Harry Kane.
just
bro.
a striker.
I don't think you need talent
Just a
ID.
strike.
It
To
was
choose
not
Harry Kane.
Tuchel. It was Bayern that got Harry Kane. It was not Thomas Tuchel particularly. I think they needed a Lewandowski replacement, so he got.
I think Thomas Tuchel wanted Harry Kane at Chelsea. I really do think that.
Everyone wanted Harry Kane in their team, bro.
No.
Harry
As in
Kane is a player.
when Thomas Tuchel was around as our manager, like I don't think what's his name, Lukaku or even Haaland was the first choice. That was more Jose moving and understanding that Harry Kane's never going to happen. But I think Thomas Tuchel wanted Harry Kane.
Hmm.
It's not a coincidence he's gone to Bayern Munich. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, he
Harry
was
Kane
never
doesn't
gonna,
need to
he was never
accept
gonna
that.
get him. He was never going to get him at our club, so wrong club to try and get him. But people are saying, who's the mystery attacker? I don't have a clue. I mean, we've been linked with Raphinha.
Cole
We've
Palmer?
been linked with
Cole
Smith-Rowe,
Palmer is the mystery attacker.
Cole Palmer,
He's
Sancho,
not attacking, but,
Fatty.
yeah.
Been linked with everyone. No, it will classify. It will count.
It might classify, yeah.
Yeah. Which stand you gonna be at? MHL, but could be West. If I see an empty
Might be
seat up there,
moving.
if I see an empty seat and I get a better
Navigating.
view, I'll be up there because I don't think the atmosphere at home to Wimbledon is going to be one to remember. With Spurs going for Fatty, Smith-Rowe, Sell ruled out. Who is going to be that secret attacker? Each of you come up with a name. Well, Palmer's been given as one of the options. If it had to be me, I mean, I've already given up on Taremi. He's going to AC Milan.
Well, Poch doesn't want a static striker, Matisse.
Yeah, it's not going to be Cherky.
No.
Who could it actually be? That's
Won't be
realistic.
Pecola either.
No.
It's Xhaka. I'm telling you, man.
I'm starting to agree with you, Younes. I'm starting to agree. I think he's onto something.
You see, this is how you get people to start. You start wheeling people in.
Yes.
This is how false rumors begin.
Yes. Do it, Younes. I'm backing it.
Marcus Edwards.
That's a good shout, bro. That
would
really
be
is
a
a good shout. That's a good shout. He does have a release clause, so
he does impress me whenever I watch Sporting. He's always trying to make something happen. To be fair to him,
he's a good player. And I know we don't have UCL at the moment, but that's a player that's got UCL.
My question in all of this is, if suppose Angelo were to have a brilliant season, and you've got this mystery player, and your team is settled, now what happens to these players now? Because the players that you have.
Angelo gets sold.
If Angelo has a great season and we don't have space, then
he goes to PSG.
He's either leaving for a PSG or someone like that, or it's an awkward conversation for whoever didn't play a lot of games this season, like a Madueke. My problem is that when you buy a lot of young players in this kind of 30 million upwards range, very difficult to make a profit if they don't do well. Say Madueke doesn't play much this season, or he gets injured, and then next summer Angelo absolutely smashes it, and now we want to bring Angelo into the first team because he smashed it, and I mean absolutely smashed it, and we want to move on Madueke because it's not working out. How are we going to do that at a profit, not at a loss?
I don't understand why we kept Moreira, and
because he's not going to play much. Yeah, he's not going to play much. So they just don't.
So
see
Moreira,
him.
you should have sent on loan, and you could have kept Angelo Gabriel, and you wouldn't have been in this situation of looking for an attacker in the last 2 days of the transfer window. I don't know what's going. See, I am completely in agreement with you, Matisse, that even if we don't sign anyone, I think our squad it's sorted. I don't see us wanting any more players.
I think the logic apparently on that one was Diego is going to go into the under-21 squad, so he's not going to play in the first team when everyone's fit, and Angelo's too good for that, so he needs minutes. But my thing is just if Angelo smashes it and Madueke say doesn't, how do you make that swap? Do you loan out Madueke now and bring Angelo in? That's basically what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, you do. I was just going to say that you loan out Madueke, and you know why, Matisse? Because Madueke's wages. What are his wages? This is why all the wages are low, so we can just shift and move them around and not get financially hurt. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think Madueke is on big wages.
50k per week. I think 50k per week.
That's bringing us to the point that Matisse was saying earlier. It is dehumanizing players. Stockpiling, dehumanizing players.
So it's basically,
we're all about the dehumanizing. We're all about
swaps,
that.
switches. So if he's on 50,000 a week, he's very simple to loan out.
Yeah,
in terms of making a profit on his transfer fee, or at least equaling, so whatever that 35, but because the 35 million is spread out over 8 years, the first year isn't actually that much. So whatever that is divided by 8, you're not actually chopping off that much off of the fee after 1 year. So just say it's 4.3 million divided by 8. So 4.3 million has been taken off the transfer value after the first year. So you need to sell him for 31-ish million to be balanced in the books.
Chelsea can wait.
If he doesn't do anything in his first year, does anybody come in 31 million? Hopefully, maybe. I don't know. It's an interesting one. Strange. But if 50k a week, you're right. We're literally just going to be rotating them. All right, now you go Strasbourg. Strasbourg. And Angelo, you come back.
And you never know. By the end of this season, we may have another 2 more different partner clubs and sister clubs. So not just Strasbourg. Now you got a buffet of clubs to choose. Where do you want to go?
And do you think you're going to get your value back up so you can come back here?
Exactly.
You could pick Portugal, France, Spain. Where do you think that you're going to impress us so you can come back home? Because otherwise we're just going to keep sending you.
and then when you do come back, I'll be looking at the brothers that didn't do well to send them, and this cycle continues
until everybody hits that age 25. And then when you hit 25, you have to leave. Very similar to
gotta leave.
Leonardo DiCaprio. You must leave. Out.
You got to leave. You got to leave.
Oh dear, madness. Let's see with the super chat. With Spurs going, sorry, we've already read that one out. Big up, much appreciated. Joe Shields at it again. His talent ID is Stardust. Rumors ignite. This will not be happening. KK will be going nowhere from Napoli. Napoli are the Italian Brighton. They don't do good things. We got a Portuguese Brighton in Benfica. We got an Italian Brighton in Napoli, and we got an English Brighton in Brighton. Do you know what I mean? We just stay away from these three clubs. You'll be fine with your money. Not gonna.
Looks like it's gonna be Cole Palmer, man. Even Matt Law's talking about it now.
But we have to agree a fee, which it can't be astronomical, and we also need to agree personal terms. But I don't think personal terms. I don't know.
That won't be a problem.
Personal terms, I think, will be straightforward.
How much is he on now? I'm not
talking about the money.
50K.
I'm talking about the minutes. Like who? So if he comes, okay, where does he play?
Bro, if he comes, first of all, Ben Chilwell, get back to left back, please. We go back to a proper 4-2-3-1. Cole Palmer just behind Jackson and trying to feed Jackson. Have that City sort of mentality. Look for those key passes through the middle. Feed Jackson as much as possible. You're pretty much going to be our Phil Foden version of Phil Foden. What Phil Foden does for Haaland over there, you'll be doing that for Jackson. And we'll see what happens. Sterling plays on the right. Whoever on the left, I don't know. Mudryk, is he favored at all these days? I'm not really sure. He's injured now. I get it.
He's on. He's injured now. He's on 27K a week, somewhere around there.
So Chelsea will give him about maybe 80, maybe 90.
No, 80. Wait. 50. Give him 50.
Oh. They'll probably give him that basic.
Maybe 60. Yeah. Not 80. Because if we got a loan amount in a year's time, someone's going to pay that.
I think his Premier League experience that he has probably will ask for a little bit more. But I'm pretty sure Chelsea can afford about 80-ish around there. Because we've let go a lot of players on high wages. So we've got room in terms of wages.
Tons, yeah. In terms of money generated from salaries, we are looking fantastic.
I don't think... Besides Sterling, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think anyone's on big wages anymore. No. Maybe Chilwell is.
Chilwell's on 200.
Oh, Reece James.
Reece James on 250.
Getting Lukaku off the wage bill was a huge thing for us.
100%.
Oh, finally. What a masterstroke. Oh,
that's
what
beautiful.
A masterstroke. That was unbelievable.
I think I was reading we have shaved off 2.4 million per week in this.
Yeah,
week.
no, we
massive.
have. Yeah.
Massive. It's massive.
Yeah, in terms of wages.
I'll actually find the tweet. It's actually incredible how many people.
Something around 16 million has been saved from his wages alone.
Yeah, 17.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And don't forget,
Roma's
going to give us 6 million in loan fee as well. So we're trying to cover and we've put a cheeky release clause, a variation to his contract of 37.5, which is going to be exactly the book value. Next season. So if someone does buy him, we literally make no more losses on this guy, which is
masterstroke.
Masterstroke.
Lavia and Palmer, ex-City, Kevin De Bruyne revenge. C is saying with the super chat there. I found the wages. So Lukaku 375k gone. Kante 300 gone. Koulibaly 290. Havertz 200. This is rough figures. Azpilicueta 180. Cucurella potentially seems like it will be 175k. Talk about that next. Aubameyang 160, Kepa 170, Pulisic 150, Ruben I think is actually 150. It says 120, but it's actually 150 from what I remember. Ziyech 100. I think that might have been higher. I don't know. Maybe 120. Cover 100. Again, it feels a bit low. Mount 80. That's right, and Mendy 55. That's definitely right.
And
as well.
Lukaku 325.
Lukaku 325. Okay, yeah. There's a couple inaccuracies. I feel like Ziyech must be on more than 100. Baba Rahman, is he left yet? He left, didn't it? That's another 100.
Oh, he left, yeah. He left.
Malang Sarr is another 100. If we can get him out on a free.
No, we won't get him. We
Callum
need some
Hudson-Odoi?
deadwood. For the culture. For the culture, we would need some deadwood, right?
No, there's some clubs actually interested in Malang Sarr. But it's funny. We won't be getting a fee for him, which is so funny because when we first signed him, I immediately said he's a profit player and he's not going to make it. because he's just not good enough. But we're going to get him. Oh, remember on this channel?
do
Oh my
remember, I
days!
remember.
On this show, the amount of stick I got about Malang Sarr on this very show. Matisse, you have to give him a chance. He's gonna.
You hate him, Matisse. You hate him.
I said, bro, I've seen enough. He is not going to make it, bro. He's not a Chelsea player. We've just signed him on a free because it's an opportunity to make a profit. We ain't even gonna make a profit. In fact, it's just been an expense. We've brought him in, paid his wages. We paid triple what he'd make in his career in a French club that he should be at. And even Monaco don't want him back. Didn't even play him that much last year. And then now, brother is leaving on a free. So we just
no prophecy.
Brother, I wish I could be a free agent footballer with a hint.
Last ownership was mad,
Oh
bro.
my days,
100k.
Marina is mad, bro. Honestly.
The way Poch in that press conference though was like, with the guys like Malang Sarr, and he goes, "Who?
You've punched me in the face. I don't know. You punched me
I'm
in the
like,
face.
bro, just sell him. Just sell him.
This is
now."
mad. When you don't even know who he is, that's when you know he needs to go, man. It reminds me of when we had Michael Hector and Djilabodji. You ask any manager if when they're still on the books, who is that? They will have no idea who those two players are, even though they were at the club just out on loan. Imagine asking who came in and around that time. Who was manager? Mourinho. So who was after Mourinho? It would have been
Conte.
Conte. You ask Conte, yo, do you know Michael Hector and Djilabodji? Would he be playing much next season in the back three? Huh?
Who?
We must suffer. They must suffer.
Hey, myself.
Hey, Mustafa. Hey, Mustafa.
Oh my days. No, there's no way. There's just no way. I don't know if Thabz is in the chat. I'm seeing his name for some reason in the chat. Can't tell. Yeah, so no, he's not. I've actually met Secret Scout, so they're not the same person. So yeah, there you go. That's your confirmation. that they're
Unless
not
he had
the
a
same
mask
person.
on.
Yeah, they're not the same person, like legit. Didn't TT want
No,
Gordon?
it was the ownership. It wasn't TT. It was all data driven, and the new guys came in and said
We have
the
to
way we
distinguish
play.
between TT wanting experienced players and then the ownership wanting a lot of young guys. I feel like that's a good way to know who wanted who. Because
Apparently, Gordon is doing good at Newcastle, nah?
I don't know why Thomas Tuchel would have
Yeah, he
wanted.
scored the last game.
Yeah, he did. He was great
Played well.
against Liverpool. I don't know why Thomas Tuchel would want an unproven young player from Everton when he wants to win things, who's only scored deflected goals. That doesn't sound like a Tuchel move. That sounds like a Todd Bowie. We want to buy young players move. So that's why I'm not really getting that link. I saw PYS tweet that, and I should have said that underneath. It doesn't make any sense.
We have to remember as well, Thomas Tuchel didn't really want to be involved in the whole selection
He didn't want to.
process and transfers. That was one of
He
his
didn't want
spites.
to.
That's one of his
Yeah.
so,
He's like,
Got
you know
stuck.
how I want to play. Just get me the players and we'll
give me the
move.
guys.
He
Give
got
me the
sacked.
guys.
He got sacked because he left goalie on red.
And there we are.
over the Ronaldo situation.
It's like
Yeah,
I
we
told
went
him
this one
no.
out already. What's a
We
realistic
were like,
price
yeah.
for Palmer? I mean,
Palmer.
we already
That's
said
about
that.
35 mil, man. How
Mr.
long does he have?
Goalie, please pay. Don't speak. Pay.
How long does he have for his contract?
Yeah, that good. Bro. I'm thinking about that. No.
I
Hey,
think
do
85 million.
speak. Don't just pay. Definitely do speak. First. You know what I mean? Definitely do speak. Don't just pay. It's not a pay and this is not a pay and don't speak player. This is a
I
speak
don't
and-
want
speak
these
and maybe pay.
any of these players, man.
The way
Either
the
get
German-
a exceptional superstar or don't go for any of these youngsters.
You've had enough, yeah.
Mm.
Where's his
This is
contract?
like Football
How come I
Manager where
can't
you
see
don't
his
have all the
contract?
attributes. That's the kind of players that we go after.
Mm.
Where's
Well,
his
it's just
contract
a lie.
details, man?
I think his contract runs out. Some people are saying his contract runs out next summer. So let me see.
Well,
He's on about
then-
20 to 27k a week. That's what that's what I've been seeing.
Look,
online.
30 million, man. They got cover for how much? 25?
His contract expires 2026.
25.
Yeah, we shouldn't be in a loss to Man City over this deal. We just did them a very good deal on cover, and he's going straight into midfield, playing very well. So
30 million pounds. I think that's a good
call it
deal.
a day. Yeah,
30
And
million
so,
pounds, 8-year contract, 2.5.
Of course, ATR plus 1, 9. You're jailed. You are jailed.
3.5 million.
Do
per
not
year
pass go.
amortized.
Don't collect 200. The lot.
mad.
Cole
The way
Palmer
journals were
cost to
moving
3.5 million.
about the big move mystery attacker, Palmer doesn't sound like that big noisy transfer they're hyping up. I don't think it is going to be a big transfer at this stage in the window.
No.
It's not going to be a big name. I think everybody's got to get over that. This is why I'm not really entertaining the whole Musiala thing. It's not going to be with a couple of days to go in the window. Literally, the deadline is on Friday. That it's not going to be a big name, because the only way you get big names done is if the club don't want him, which is therefore probably not a good thing, or it's done way in advance, and it's, you know, they've got time to get a replacement. So we're not going to be seeing any Musialas or anything like that. It's not going to be happening.
How is it a mystery if everyone is reporting it?
Exactly.
Exactly, yeah.
Unless it's not that. Unless that's a
come
decoy. They should put out decoys. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's not. Maybe that's not the guy.
Palmer's the decoy. Maybe
it's Foden.
Maybe it's
Maybe it's
right. Another rumor generated. We're going with Foden for now.
Yeah.
and Saka for good
He's
measure.
Saka on deadline day.
He's retweeted his own tweet, Fabrizio. I don't know if that means that it's
Yeah.
made more. It's more closer than it was half an hour ago. But yeah.
No, it does. It does.
down.
Matisse, I've clocked how he moves. If
Yeah.
he pins a tweet,
Oh, it's happening.
it's gone. Here we go. Bring it on. Like that brother is leaving that football club, right? If he's
Cucurella is
retweeting,
pinned right now.
yeah, he's gone. He's finished. Say goodbye to him straight away. He's pinned. When Fabrizio got the guy pinned, you're all done. You're all lost. And when he's
1,
got
2, and
them
3.
retweeted, it's on the roll. It's cool.
On the roll, yeah.
It's
The
cool.
mystery signing is Ziyech has been called back from Galatasaray.
And he fails medical.
Because he can play as a cam and as a right wing.
Oh, mate.
And you can also play in the bench, I suppose. So. But I feel sad, bro. That's my guy, man. Don't tease him, bro.
No, man, I used to love Ziyech, man.
Used to? What happened now?
It's not my problem anymore.
Not your
He's
problem.
not a player, bro.
It's still my problem, bro. I like him, bro.
Let me finalize on Cucurella. How does everybody feel about that move? Because it is a bit awkward, isn't it? It's good for us financially, but it's awkward in terms of him going to Manchester United. He needs to play well if we're to sell him next summer to someone, because we need his value to go up. But if he plays well for Manchester United, he's ineffectively helping them try and qualify for Champions League, which is something we're trying to do. So it's a bit of a weird. So I don't like doing business with direct rivals in terms of loans, because if you just buy him, then I can just be like, okay, fuck him. I don't care if he plays well. I want him to play badly because you've already given us the money. It's like Mason Mount and Kai Havertz, right? You've already given us the money, so I hope they play awfully. But with Cucurella, we're loaning him. We're not loaning him to go over there and stink up the place, because if he does that, then we definitely need to sell him. But it's even harder to sell him because he's just shown again that he can't kick a ball. So I don't know. It's a tough one. I don't know how everyone feels.
I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it's fine. I think I don't see enough threat from Manchester United to be worried about Cucurella and propping them up even further. I think he'll play. He'll get minutes. Luke Shaw's out. When Luke Shaw comes back, there'll be a little bit of competition. Then Cucurella might, play some, might not play some. But I don't think Cucurella will go in and revolutionize the team. I actually think Man United will struggle. I know some people are looking at Man United and thinking, "Oh, they're going to get they're going to get better and it's going to start clicking." I've got a weird, sneaky feeling, and I might be wrong, but I reckon Ten Hag might get exposed this season.
Oh,
See, the way I look at it is, firstly, from Chelsea's point of view, it's the logical thing to do because he's surplus to requirements. First 3 games, he's not been deployed to the extent where we are seeing Levi Colwill as the left back. So that tells you what Pochettino is thinking about the left back position. Do you know what I mean? Maatsen is coming off the bench. So Cucurella is surplus to requirements. No need to keep a player that you're not going to utilize, but at the same time pay quite high wages as well. So it's annoying because I really like this player. I still believe there's a good player in him. And as I think all of you guys said, that it would have been nice to see him get one more season, but it's a ruthless world that we live in, and it's the circumstance. The circumstance is a tough one. So he has to make way. Now, that's Chelsea's point of view. In terms of Man United, honestly, Matisse, I don't care, man. Go out there, do well, because that only means we can then sell you for a premium amount of money. So what well really means, I don't know. It could mean what Younes said. You could still flop as a team, but your individual performance was good enough for you to warrant a place in their team and perhaps dislodge Luke Shaw, which shouldn't be difficult. I think you should be. What Cucurella will bring and what Luke Shaw doesn't bring is Cucurella can invert, and he can play those line breaking passes from midfield. And don't forget, they've also got a ball playing goalkeeper with Andre Onana. So now they've got two players from deep that they can sort of rely on in terms of build up, which they absolutely lack in their defense and also in their midfield. So individually do well, as a team do crap, and then perhaps we can sell you for a premium amount, around 50 million, and once again we break even. So that'd be great.
Yeah, it's one of those situations as well. You can't have two left backs on 175k upwards, two of them competing for one place. It's the same with the goalkeeper situation with Kepa when he was here. It just doesn't make any sense. And I'd much rather lose him than lose Ian Maatsen, that's for sure. So yeah, it makes sense for us. It's just I just wish someone else would come in from overseas, or I wish that we would just be able to sell him, but it's difficult because I don't think he's a bum. I do think there's something to him where he will be able to produce. He will be able to produce some performances. It's very similar to last season where Sterling was signed as well after coming off not a great season. Cucurella probably come off a better season than Sterling, to be honest, did at City, but he had an awful season. That's why I'm like, I don't want to fully say, okay, this was a mistake, or yes, it's definitely overpriced and the wages is wild. Would I do it again? Absolutely not. There's no way I would pay him 175k and pay 62 million. There's just no chance. But I wouldn't completely write him off and say that he's of no use, because I don't feel like Chilwell's performances are so high that he just can't be cleared as well. Like if Chilwell's to pick up an injury, which he has, had injuries before, frequently enough, then it is Ian Maatsen's kind of job to kind of take that position now if Cucurella's not here. So be under a bit of pressure, but I think
we need to be careful about the whole Ian Maatsen thing as well. As much as I love
because
him,
he hasn't signed yet.
Right, he hasn't signed.
It's true. Yeah, there is.
This is his last season.
Yeah,
and there's apparently a lot of Premier League clubs lining up for his signature. Like West Ham apparently put in an interest as well to get him on loan. I don't know how that's going to work. Loan. He's only got one more season left. Burnley won him on a permanent because Vincent Kompany obviously had a fantastic season with Ian Maatsen. In fact, it was the breakthrough season for Ian Maatsen. This whole Ian Maatsen thing, don't take it as like granted. Yeah, he's gonna be with us. Any madness can happen in this last few days of the transfer window. So I'm just worried that why hasn't this guy signed the contract extension as yet? The offer's there apparently.
Maybe he's waiting for Cucurella to be sold, where he's like, okay, this is like 100% now. I've got a spot here, because he does. From the quotes that I've seen, he does seem like his head's screwed on. He's got a good attitude. Like he's not demanding anything. Doesn't seem. He's not saying that I need this, I need that. He said, listen, I'm willing to play anywhere. I'm willing to. He's given the Gallagher talk, or not to the same level, but he doesn't seem like someone who wants to leave. I think he just wants to make sure that he's not. He's going to get some minutes, which is fair because he should be getting minutes. Like he had a good preseason, he had a great season at Burnley. There's no reason for him to come here and some games not even be able to make the bench. If that is the situation, that's not good for him. That's a massive regression. So I think it's wise for him to take his time, because we're not yet a club that can be trusted. Especially when we just spoke about stockpiling. We can't really be trusted with players' futures. They have to look out for themselves. So until we sell Cucurella, until we move Cucurella on, then I think he will potentially sign. But until that happens, I don't think it's a gamble for us. But listen, what's the worst that can happen? Maybe we keep him. He's squad depth. He doesn't sign a new deal. Cool. Then we know we have to go into the market next summer. But he won't sign until he knows that we're serious with what we're doing with him, which is fair.
See, the only thing on that I'll say is what you said in regards to he's waiting on the Cucurella news. Brother, I don't think Cucurella was your problem. Cucurella was not even playing. In fact, you were coming off the bench. So if you were waiting to sign that contract extension to see what was Cucurella doing, Cucurella looks like was never part of the plan. I think and this is just a hunch, and I'll see what you guys have to say about this. I think he's seeing the current thing that Pochettino is doing at the moment, where Lewa Colwell is the left back. He's starting to think, what's going on here? Like, why is he left back? Do you know what I mean? Why isn't he playing as an LCB and you play genuinely a left back? Then I could potentially be a left back rotation. Or why are you playing Chilwell up front when you've tried me up front in the preseason? So where's your mindset, Pochettino, about me? You tend to rate me.
I think
but
that's
you don't
accurate,
tend
yeah.
to. You don't tend to rate me too much. You tend to rate me, but not too much. And I don't know whether Maatsen is a player at the moment where he's done several loan spells and he's broke through at Burnley and he's done so well. He was the left-sided player of the championship. Did you guys know that?
Yeah.
Like, this is no joke.
In the team of the year. Yeah, he was.
He was in the
unbelievable.
team of the year. So Maatsen ain't coming to just go, yeah, I'm happy to warm the bench. Maatsen truly believes he's got the ingredients to do well in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And I believe that as well.
I believe he does as well, 100%.
So
I
probably
even had it in my preview for the game that we just played, bro. I had him starting.
same.
I had him starting ahead of Chilwell. I'm not gonna lie to you. I had him. If you're gonna play Chilwell in that left wing role,
You play Maatsen.
Maatsen's he's just better. He's just better in terms of
His
interlinking
technical
the players.
ability, scoring ability, crossing ability, the lot.
So
I think that's the issue at the moment. I don't think Cucurella's got anything to do with this because he would have seen Cucurella as not even part of the plan. That's not his problem. I think what he's seeing is you're starting Lewan Kovala left back and you're starting Ben Chilwell left wing. What's going
I'm
on?
interested to see how he is defensively up against some of the best wingers in the league. That will be a big test for him. That's the one side of going forward and playing in a possession-based team and linking up the play and being able to be interchangeable. I have no worries about that. But defensively, I need to see him at this level because he never played Premier League. He's always had the Championship and League One loans. He's been Charlton. He's been Burnley. He's been
Coventry.
to a couple of other Coventry as well. That's the other one. He's not played in the Premier League, so I've not seen him against your Salahs, etc. So that's the question mark. But listen, there's he'll have to answer that question. We'll see how he does. Nice to see Cole Palmer emulate Casey Palmer's legacy. Jesus Christ, he should be fine. He should be just fine. Yeah. How long before Roma fans send Lukaku back? I mean, that's a great way to end. Lukaku's leaving, people. I was meant to throw a party. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pissed. I missed the Here We Go. I was watching The Office with my mates, and I've completely missed the Here We Go. But it is what it is.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. When the official announcement comes out, then
yes. Oh yes.
When we get him in the shirt,
yeah.
Then we go mad on it.
Yeah, 100%. But how long before he's playing at Lazio? People are saying the season after.
No, January maybe. You never know.
Yeah.
No. He's got to pee off the fans first, and then he's got to get dropped, and then he's got to start looking for a way out, and then he's got to come back to us, and then he's got to do, and then we send him to Lazio.
You best believe, like, if you were a betting man, and I know none of us are, like, you would put your money down for him to absolutely pee off Roma fans, like, very, very soon.
You'd think, wouldn't it?
It's a here we go, is it? Is it a here we go?
Pinned.
No, it's pinned.
It's pinned.
Oh, it's done.
Pinned.
It's done.
It's
It's over.
pinned.
It's over. It's over. There's our player, ladies and gentlemen. That's the attacker we're getting.
That's the mystery lad.
That's the mystery one. It's no more mystery. He's pinned. He is pinned.
It's been pinned.
Yeah, you're all finished, Cole Palmer. You're done. You're pinned.
Welcome to Chelsea, mate.
Welcome to Chelsea.
You're gonna love it.
Cole Palmer's like, I don't even know if I'm moving yet. Like, I don't know. No. You look
No,
at
we know.
Fabrizio Romano's tweet. He's pinned you.
Mate,
You're done.
pack your bags.
It's done. It's
Get
done.
yourself to Manchester Station, right? Piccadilly. Get on the train.
I'm not even spoken to Pep yet. Don't worry.
You don't need to. It's done.
Fabrizio will do the talking. Don't.
Mad. Absolutely mad.
So there you go. Cole Palmer, boys. That's the
Where
player.
does Gallagher play now?
On the
He's
bench.
got to go, bro. I'm actually
He
not.
started the season very well, but
I'm not talking about it. I'm not talking about it.
Miz is like, yo, no, not doing it. No.
He's the new Mount. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not talking about it.
He is. Do you know what?
I'm
though?
getting
He does love
abused.
the
I'm
club.
getting insulted. I'm not doing it,
He does love the club. It seems.
not for long.
Maybe we should have given them the banner instead of Mount.
bro. He
To be
loves
honest,
the
yeah,
club.
I would rather him
He's
than Mount.
Chelsea through and through, no doubt.
It's so weird, though, isn't it? Mount was always seen as. I always saw Mount as like obviously the better player, and he's obviously achieved way more. But maybe the Chelsea boy is Gallagher after all.
It actually is.
He
You
100%
know, Mount
is
does
Chelsea boy.
support Portsmouth. Maybe he is actually the Chelsea boy after all.
I
How
think
weird
he
is
is.
that?
I
Crazy.
don't take anything away from him in terms of what he's trying and how he's
He started
approaching
well.
things.
He started well. That's why I asked the question.
He is. Yeah. He
Like, do you
he
just
legit
drop him?
wants it. He
'Cause
does
his
want it.
I saw something. There was a statistic there. They were going through his pass completions from last season and looking at it this season. It's way higher this season. And I've noticed in his game, he's playing the simple passes a lot more. He's not. Every time he gets the ball, he just gives it and goes running off somewhere gallivanting. And I love that. That's what I want to see. I don't want you to even try and play anything complicated. No line breaking. Nothing. Just as soon as you get the ball, give it to Enzo, give it to Caicedo, and just frolic off into the distance and see what you can manufacture with a run. But do you just say Cole Palmer does come in? And I'm talking about, because we're not going to talk until after the game against Forest.
When Palmer does come in.
When Palmer does come in.
It's done, bro. It's done.
Like, does Gallagher
I'm
just
making
get
thumbnails.
dropped? Does Gallagher just go straight to the bench? Obviously, Lavia is still conditioning. He's not available.
Yeah.
But like,
Well, he will be.
does Gallagher just get straight to the bench, or what do we do with him?
It's at
Give
that
him a new
point.
contract, bro. Give him a new contract.
This has had enough.
Send him on loan to Strasbourg. I'm kidding.
Oh no, you can't do that.
We sell him. And look, I've made this clear on my channel as well. The same way we're selling Chalobah, and the same way we will probably sell Gallagher, is pure.
At some
profit,
point, he
and
probably
that is
will be sold.
absolutely key. It's pure profit. Chelsea will not turn that down. So,
All I'm going to say is Gallagher is not irreplaceable.
Oh, God, no.
That's all I'm going to say. The rest is for you to interpret however you want to interpret it. Because any more, if I say, I will be in big trouble. I'll be in big trouble. I'll just leave it at the fact that he's not irreplaceable. That's it.
Interesting. We'll wrap.
Jose Mourinho there.
Watch along for today's game. I mean, listen, we're wrapping up now. Watch what? There's nothing to see. I'm going to the game, which I can't wait because it's been a while, and also because I have no choice really, because I have to see the match. I can't not see the game, so I said, okay, you're not showing it on TV. I will be there. I will be there.
We'll be
I will be there. So I won't be doing a normal watch along, if that's what you're asking, because at this current moment there is nowhere to watch it apart from at the stadium. So I'm going to the ground, and I will. All I'll say is have notifications on for this channel. It's not going to be, scheduled and thumbnailed and prepped, because it could go horribly wrong. And then
I could just imagine what it's going to look like. It's going to be this guy going, bloody internet's not working.
Bro, I am going to go ISO speed in real life. You know what I mean? I'm just going to throw up a damn camera live at the ground. And if it stays stable and you get to see the game, great. If you don't, then it folds, then we move. I'm going to just go live. I'm just going to go just live like that. And I'm going to just be at the ground and we just see what we can get. And if it stays the whole game, great. If it doesn't, I'll stop it and I'll just record highlights and then we'll put it in a compilation and put it out the next day.
I think even that would be fantastic. Like,
I will definitely
do that anyway, though. Do that anyway, because we're not going to get highlights. So we need highlights.
Yeah. So that's the plan. And if that works, then great. If it doesn't work, then it is what it is. So yeah.
I mean, look, we are all of our reviews will be based on the footage you provide here, mate. If we don't have any material, this is gonna go left.
We need some material.
I don't think it is. Like people are saying, I don't think it is. Nobody has the rights to the game.
No one has the rights.
Nobody if somebody has the rights to the game, obviously I wouldn't have that problem. We would be able to see the game. Nobody's got the rights to it. Like
no one has the rights, therefore the material cannot be copyrighted. And if it can't be copyrighted, you have free will to film.
Yeah. So it's like if you was to go and film I don't know, Wimbledon versus Forest Green. That wouldn't get copyrighted because no one gives a damn.
No one's showing it.
Because I remember it was a long time ago. Obviously, you lads have been going to Stamford Bridge more often, right? But the last time I was there, back in like 2015, December, I remember they even like normal filming, like the stewards would be on you. Like they'd be like, put camera down. Like you can't just be doing it for too long. You take like little snippets here and there, but
Mm.
if you've got it for too long where you're just recording the entire thing,
Yeah,
like
no,
stewards come around going, put that down.
you're not allowed camera equipment or an actual camera. They'll seize that. They'll take that off you.
100%.
You can use your phone. If you use your phone, don't flipping make it obvious. Like
That's to get a tripod.
I'm broadcasting.
That's what you don't do. That's what you don't do.
Yeah, that's what you don't do.
What we
Don't
can't
do
do
that.
now is get a big massive camera, set up a tripod just above where you go up the stairs, and then obviously if everyone goes off into their seats, we just plant it right there. You know, get the camera there, put the tripod up, maybe get some lighting as well going just in case. We can't do that. It's not going to work. So yeah, I mean, we will see. We will be there. We will see what happens. But if it doesn't work, then my condolences for all of you. I don't know how you're gonna get the info. Miz is doing a watch along, aren't you, Miz? Let them know where to find you and what the plan is for this evening for you.
Yeah, I'm at the moment. I'm still thinking about doing a watch along. I think I will. And the watch along literally will be just stats. Just be stats. I'll have the Twitter page open because I'm pretty sure a lot of people will be posting a lot of stuff. People might be going to the matches just like Matisse, and they'll upload stuff. So we'll be playing that. I think Younes said that there'll be an audio version that'll be going on as well. So I might have that on. Like, throw everything. I'll have the lot on, all sorts of, except for the game, obviously. So I'll have
Who knows,
everything
at this
else.
point, someone might be telegramming exactly what's going on with flipping Morse code or something.
So I think that would be fun to do with everyone that's not going to be able to watch as well, and we have a bit of a laugh, and hopefully Chelsea win, or else all the laughter is just going to disappear very quick.
Imagine not being able to see it and we're losing. That's just
Oh
painful.
my god!
Then it didn't happen.
End the stream, Dave. End the stream.
If we lose, it didn't happen. It wasn't shown. It's not filmed. What game? We didn't play.
So we'll see you in third round. Yeah, we'll go to. We'll just hope that Chelsea's in the third round.
We decided to not take part this year. That's all.
And then when the draw happens, where's Chelsea in the draw for the third round? What's going on here?
We are not participating. we got other things to think about.
It's at Stamford Bridge, man. Like, surely we got to win.
We'll beat Wimbledon with all due respect.
We'll beat Wimbledon. Exactly.
Yeah, we should do.
I want them to score like Wimbledon, but that's it.
Younes, let the people know where to find you. A pleasure. Absolute pleasure, brother.
Yeah, no, the same place. Younes Talks Football. As I said, I'll give my thoughts on this whole Kyle Palmer situation. That'll be the first video today, and then later on will be a case of review if we know what's going on. So I'll be posting regardless. I'll make sure, even if it's having to read the stats, I will be here.
That's funny.
And we'll see exactly how the scoreline ends. And yeah, that's it really. Younes Talks Football is where you can find me.
Do you know what, Younes? Generally, the Chelsea journalists are in the match as well. So just be reading out their tweets, like whatever they're commentating. Like, this is what they're saying. Just go, yeah, that's great.
I've just seen more tweets are coming out as well from Nizar and from Ben Jacobs and from, I don't know if this is, sometimes it feels like a briefing when everybody comes out at the same time, but I don't know. Let's see. Bubba, let the people, surely Bubba's at 200k now.
He was already on 200k.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Big fella, Bubba.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I remember last week you were saying at 199. I was like, there's just no way he's not at 200 by now. Yeah.
Congrats, bro. Congrats.
Bubba, let the people know where to find you, bro. Pleasure.
Thank you, bro. The same place, Drogbaba. Now we are close to 100k on Instagram also. So please do make sure if you haven't followed me there. So we are just a few short of 100k on Instagram as well. I think we are at 92k over there. So please do make sure if you have not followed me there, follow me there. And yes, miss.
I was just going to say, bro, I saw the other day on Instagram, one of your reels were 200k views. I think it was a Neymar one.
It's just crossed 4 million.
Oh my God.
He's like 200k baby numbers. Baby numbers. Come on.
Baba's like, Miss, 200k was like the first 2 minutes. You
No,
must
no,
have
I
had
didn't-
my notification
Please,
on.
please keep up, Liz, honestly.
I didn't mean it that way, but
Yo, oh man, incredible, bro. Like, honestly, incredible stuff.
That's
thank you.
sick.
Thank you
Well
so
done.
much.
Well
Thank you for your love and support, everyone. So
That's
yeah,
fucking mad, just,
Drogbaba, please do make sure to follow me on Twitter as well. Thank you so much.
Yeah, there you are. Fucking hell, madness. Absolutely mad numbers. It's crazy. Guys, make sure you subscribe, smash up the likes. The links are in the description as always. We will be there in many capacities for tonight's game. It will be getting covered in all ways and every way. So yeah, just keep an eye out and we'll see what happens, I guess. Until next time, big up your damn selves in a bit, people. Peace. Oh, I should probably end it, shouldn't I? Yeah, I'll do that.